Welcome, 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 everybody to Workers Wrestling Network. It's your girl Delores, and here comes my co-host J News. How you doing, J News?
Doing all right, Dolores. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your good brother Jay News back at it again here on Seeing Stars on the Workhorse Wrestling Network. Good morning, ALW. Man, Dolores, after this
Yeah.
last week, I can say that I am finally well rested. Uh, the old man actually went to sleep at about 9 p.m. last night and woke up at 6 a.m. this morning. The first time I've had 8 hours of sleep in God knows how long. So we're here. We're back at it
Listen,
again.
I wish I could. I've had sleep,
Mm,
but for those who know, I am dragging this morning. I do not feel good.
I can imagine.
So I am counting the time so I can get back into bed. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, first things first, I did not make a graphic for it because I just didn't feel like it. We won't be here next Monday. James has some things to do.
Indeed.
I am not feeling good, so I need an extra, week to kind of get it together. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll be covering New Japan. We'll be previewing. So we'll be previewing New Japan, which as of this morning, there were no matches listed for any of the Wrestling Dontaku Road to shows.
The road two shows.
So,
No. Yeah. The other shows,
yeah,
the main show, yeah, but not the road two shows.
yeah. So, and we won't be covering the other New Japan show that's happening because it won't be available on the app and stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just talk about the dates, and then we'll preview GCW. GCW didn't have anything this weekend, so the only review we have is of New Japan Pro Wrestling. To get things out of hand, ladies and gentlemen, not Friday, excuse me. I'm thinking about Friday because everything normally happens on Friday. But ladies and gentlemen, on this Friday, it would just be a SmackDown show starting at 8 o'clock because on Saturday, we'll be having a watch along for TNA Rebellion. And then also AEW is putting Rampage and Collision together on Saturday. So it'll be Collision first, Rampage second. Also, 8 o'clock, I think it is, on
Mhm.
Sunday, it will be AEW Dynasty watch along here on Workers Wrestling Network. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sad because this is a two-person race this time. But I must say, this morning it made me slightly happy to get up and say the winner of the Windy City Riot predictions, JD.
Oh man.
Okay? Yes, JD beat me by 5 points. Okay? Hurt me.
Mind you,
It
when
hurt me.
when I got my score via email, I said, "Oh, okay, probably AOW or Dolores won," because I felt like my score was pretty low. And then I watched the event because I got the score before I watched the event, and then I watched the event. And I was like, "Wait a minute!" I was like, "How was this?" I was like, "How was this done?" I was
Because it was 5 points. And what it is that any pre show match, normally, like, I sent you some predictions, AOW, you got yours too, for TNA and Dynasty coming up. Whatever is listed before I send it to you, that's what we go with. They're 5 points each. Sometimes, I don't know, I didn't do it this time, but sometimes if I put where you can put your name in, that's an extra 5 points. So you killed it. That's okay. That's okay. You kicked my back in this week by 5 points. I was close. I'm in second technically because it was just the two of us. So I'll take that.
So Dolores,
Uh
I can do the previews for the Road to Wrestling Dontaku shows for the 20th,
okay.
the 21st, and the 22nd because they were put up. So
Okay, they put it up on Instagram.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go on through that, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be a JD's thing. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get into the review again, ladies and gentlemen. I want to clarify. sorry if I'm not detailed. I did go back and see it. I saw the clips of it. My brain is scrambled. Okay. So you're gonna get the best you got right now today. Okay. I toughed it out for J News. And then we got two spotlights. Because J News gets his second from when I took it from him before. And then I get mine since we won't have it next week. It'll be very interesting. Okay. And if we got a little time left, we'll talk a little hot topic. Okay. No windy hot topic here. Because there was a lot of indie wrestling things. And that goes into my pick of the week. Okay. So for the wrestling review, we blow this up. There we go. We're gonna start with oh no, too far. There we go. New Japan's Wendy Cindy Riot. Okay. That the good brother J News won. And we started with this strong survivor match. Matt Vandergriff defeated Zane J.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Windsor and Trisha Dore defeated Mina Shirakawa. This Shirakawa.
Shirakawa. Mm-hmm.
See, listen, that's early in the morning, and my voice is leaving. And Viva Van. Ren Narita defeated Minoru Suzuki for the NJPW Strong Women's title. Stephanie Vacure, the champion, defeated Azumi. Listen, I hate now that I've learned the word Azumi that people call her Asian. That hurts me. For the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Open Weight title match for a corner match, TMDK, Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes defeated the Gorillas of Destiny, El Phantasmo, and Hikaleo. Hikaleo has some news this week. And
Yes,
Fred
Lord.
Rosser and Tom Lawler and the East Coast Wrecking Crew of Gerald Nelson and Royce Isaacs. Title change, ladies and gentlemen. Shota Umino defeated Jack Perry. Thank you, Jesus. And Mustafa Ali, he defeated Hiromu Takahashi. We had the Riot Rules match. The Bullet Club consisted of Pop Connors, David Finley, Gabe Kidd, and Kenta defeated Eddie Kingston, Homicide, and the United Empire consisted of Jeff Cobb and TJP. For the NJPW World Television title, there was a title change and Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Matt Riddle. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. He works miracles in a way. Okay. In a non-title match, we had Nick Nemeth defeating Tomohiro Ishii. And for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, John Moxley defeated Tetsuya Naito. Ladies and gentlemen, John Moxley is the first person to win a title in AEW, New Japan, and WWE. Okay? So we're gonna edit it out of that quickly. J News, is there anything you want to comment about this show?
I'd like to say, overall, I felt like the ladies on the show killed it. So props and big ups to the ladies on the show. Every single one of them, man. Trisha Dora, Alex Windsor, glad to see her back in the U.S. Viva Van showed me some more high end potential for her in her future and things of that nature. And Mina Shirakawa, man, listen, just for you guys to know, she is my spotlight this week. So I'll be talking about a little bit more about her later. So those ladies killed it. And then Stephanie Vacquer along with Azumi. Azumi had one of the best wrestling weekends on televised TV I've seen in quite a while. So much props to Azumi. Hopefully she comes back to the U.S. sometime soon. All the ladies are now back in their respective, at least the foreign ladies are now back in their respective countries, getting to do their shows this week and things of that nature. But the ladies killed it. I thought Nick Nemeth definitely proved his mettle in a New Japan ring against Ishii. So props to Nick Nemeth being able to conjure some inspiration of strong style within his wrestling this past weekend on Windy City Riot against Ishii, two of the best sellers in professional wrestling at their distinctive styles. So props to them. Props to TMDK for finally winning some tag belts somewhere. Those gentlemen are well-deserved champs in the wrestling lexicon. Hopefully, bigger and brighter things for them in the future. I stated on True Heel Heat yesterday that I hope this leads them to get another shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight Tag Team Championships and hopefully a win for TMDK, that is. And then lastly, wanting to mention the big win by the one and only the ace of pro wrestling, Jon Moxley, winning the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Naito at Windy City Riot. It is a big deal. He is now what people call the Global Grand Slam champion, even though he's never won a title in Mexico. But it is what it is at the end of the day. And big win for Mox. They're gonna. I think the point of having Mox as champion here. My feel is that Naito's on the. Even though he's still giving us great matches, I feel like New Japan Pro Wrestling wanted to have, quote unquote, a bigger star be the champion in order to elevate their younger guys, which is what I think they're planning on doing here, which is why he has his match against Ren Narita at Wrestling Dontaku. We still don't know who his opponent's going to be for Resurgence, and people are hoping that he eventually gives Shota Umino a shot, which was his original intention during his post-match comments in the ring before he got viciously attacked by Ren Narita at Windy City Riot. Hopefully he gives Shooter his shot sometime down the line, and then probably a match against Tsuji and Uemura and all those guys to see if those guys can really up their game in that particular perspective as well, and to hopefully preview the next decade of New Japan wrestling dominance on the Japanese side when one of those guys eventually beats Mox somewhere down the road. So I wanted to state that about Windy City Riot.
I did enjoy all the women's matches. I felt like they tried to knock each other's teeth into the third row, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Also, ladies and gentlemen, if little inside baseball, when my good brother Jay News is on True Hill Heat, I put myself in his place because I wouldn't want to come back on here and do this again. Okay, so that's why we don't get too in depth about something. Now, if he ain't on True Hill Heat, I will make sure he definitely goes in depth with you on everything, okay? But we like to keep it because we like to share the wealth.
Mm-hmm.
He gave you the in depth over there. We're gonna touch a little light over here. I'm gonna get into some BS over here with you because we got that JCW thing we do. But that's why we keep it a little short and sweet on certain things, okay? ALW had some questions in the chat. It was, first of all, how do you feel about Jon Moxley winning the title? You said,
You know what? I think it's a good idea, right? This isn't the first time New Japan makes a quote unquote a gaijin or a non New Japan wrestler a champion. At the end of the day, I don't count Kenny because Kenny was a New Japan contracted wrestler. Back in the mid 2000s, they made Brock Lesnar their IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and he wasn't a contracted wrestler to New Japan. He was a big name, so they were in the same. Back in 2005, 2006, they were in the same transition they're in now. So be aware of this. Pro wrestling is cyclical, so this isn't anything new for New Japan to try and do. And Brock faced the likes of the Shinsuke's and the Tanahashis in their relative upcomings and ascensions. So I think this is the same thing John is going to do for the likes of Ren Narita, Shota Umino, Yua Uemura, and guys of that ilk. So hopefully this does work out for New Japan in that sense.
he also wanted to know, which I felt the same way. So I was angry. Why why does the American pay-per-views for New Japan not a part of the $9.99 package? Which all of their pay-per-views are. I don't understand why this is.
I don't necessarily have an answer for that. I think for just assuming I would figure because legally they're two different companies, right? New Japan Pro Wrestling in Japan and then New Japan Strong in America are two different companies. So it's two different sets of revenue streams. So I would imagine that they charge the $19.99 extra for the pay-per-views, just so they can get some pay-per-view buy rates, and then that way create some revenue for the American side of New Japan, and obviously to be able to pay
I,
their talent
I
on that.
think when they go to trailer, that's when the money begins. Because if for those who don't know, when they check in on Saturday,
Mm,
TNA has a package.
mm,
I do that package through their YouTube,
mm,
but they're on trailer on Saturday, so they're charging 19.99 for the pay-per-view. I
mm.
think it's 19.99 for the pay-per-view. So that's where the in between comes in. ARW's last question: what is Moxley's legacy, and where does he go in our top 10 top guys list? That's a little tricky for me because his WWE run, mm, I don't too much like. His AEW run seemed like it was ebbs and flows. Like it wasn't like wow. And this New Japan run has just started. Um, I think was he a champion or a part of a team? I'm not for sure. I have to go back and look in GCW. Um, but I don't know. I wouldn't like. He would be a little bit outside of the top 10 for me, but we don't know what this New Japan run could be. But if
Mm.
it's like he just gonna gain the title just to pass it on to somebody else, then you have another just basic title run.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, is like I was saying there before. I think him being the champion is to help uh, build and ascend the younger guys, the Rewa Three Musketeers, as they call them, those three guys, and all the other younger guys that they want to be at the top of the card right now, so they can help them elevate and ascend. I think this is what this particular championship reign is going to be about. As per his legacy, uh, it's hard to tell what his legacy is going to be. Um, but I have this feeling that he's going to be in the wrestling business for another 10 to 15 years, which is going to be quite the difference to Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins both. I don't think those guys have much left in not in the tank, but body wise, especially with Roman having to deal with his relative health issues and things of that nature. And possibly not wanting to wrestle for that much longer. And Seth's body reminds me a lot of what Naito's going through currently. So he keeps himself in tremendous shape. Um, and at the end of the day, but the body still has a lot of wear and tear. So I'm not too sure Seth's going to wrestle for too much longer. So I think the longevity of Moxley is probably going to be the his main thing to fame. But as a top guy, I mean, he's been a champion everywhere. I think his AEW / New Japan run has been much better than his WWE run. So legacy wise, is he a Hall of Famer? Yeah, at this point, you know what I'm saying. So those Shield boys are going to go in together, and hopefully they'll probably induct one another at some point down the road. So uh, beyond that, that's what I think his legacy is: hard hitting, gritty, violent, still knowing when to put on a hell of a show in ring from a wrestling standpoint, and still knowing how to tell creative stories. So I think that John Moxley's legacy is a good one so far, and he'll be around for forever. He just seems like one of those wrestlers who's going to freaking be around for a long period of time.
Next question. I know it makes you both sick, but does adding members to I'm not gonna call it house of torture, okay? Means it's here to stay.
Yeah.
I'm not calling it that because it ain't none of that word in the English language, is it? It is not. It's cold. It's ice cold. It's a brick. Okay. It's a brick to the head. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. But to answer
I
his
don't
question,
think.
yeah,
I think it's over. They need to disband it. They need to like.
they're not going to.
You remember back in the day? You remember back in the day when the Bullet Club seemed like it had shattered apart, and then they rebuilt it. Like maybe do that. Shatter it apart. Make everybody look at evil and be like, why we always doing for you, but you ain't doing for us like that? Okay? Maybe do that. Because I mean, it just seems like everybody, no offense to anybody in House of Georgia, but it seems like every loser goes there to lose. It's like Benny Hill special. Every time I see them, I hear the Benny Hill song. Do, 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 do. I hear that song every time they come out. Because that's exactly what happens every time. A whole bunch of people just come out of nowhere and just trash.
And I'm
I think
sorry.
I think I can five people come out and you still lose the match. How does that happen?
I'm sorry. I'd be remiss if I did not mention the new star of professional wrestling. That is the scapegoat, Jack Perry. Jack Perry became a star this weekend, folks. His entrance was iconic. It was legendary. He sank into everything that Chicago gave him. He fed off of that crowd. He fed off of what they were giving him, both the cheers and the boos. It was a 50-50 split in that particular arena. But Jack ate it up. He fed into it. He gave it right back to him and stuff like that. And he put on a hell of a contest in there with Shooter, Shota Umino, the top shotter, my man Shooter, one time for your mind. But they put on a hell of a match. And also, I'd be remiss if I did not state the appearance and the match between Hiromu Takahashi and Mustafa Ali. It was a hell of a match that had to go home real quick due to an accident that made Mustafa bleed. So we had to have that go down. So, but yeah. AOW, HOT, adding new members. They're going to be around for a long period of time. That's how I see it.
Listen, they are. You know, God, they are. They got an old man, two young dumb and dumbers. Ren Narita jumped in there. He seemed like he the only person that had some sense. And then he done lost it since he done been with them. It's second. And Jungle Jack Perry, listen,
He's a scapegoat.
again, wait a minute. Again, they put him in the right faction because after we saw, he got shoved and beat up. And listen, what who is it? I forget his name all the time. That does it with SP3 about AEW.
I'm not
Jimmy Macaron.
sure. Jimmy Mac.
Jimmy Macaron said everybody was like, he fought him and that wasn't fair. He's like, but Ninja, when I pushed you, that's the goal for the fight. And that's what listen, I felt that as a hood person, when you shove somebody, that's your point of we about to fight. It ain't like I'm gonna shove you and then we gonna stand there and just talk about it. No. He knew then that was the fight. And then if you go back and look, he tried to sweep the leg and didn't do it. Okay. So that's when he got the headlock. He tried to go low and got headlock for it. So listen.
At the end of the day, that footage that everybody says did nothing for AEW did everything for Jack Perry at the end of the day. Because first
of all, it proved that he did nothing wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure. It proved that he did nothing wrong.
Technically, okay, I'm gonna say he knew by saying what he said that some reaction was gonna go down. He just didn't expect that reaction to go down. Listen, I must say I'm from the hood. Ain't no way you gonna talk to me like that. And you gonna get in my face, you gonna play with your hand. We ain't gonna have no type of altercation. Okay? So I can understand that, he was from the mean streets of the Hollywood. And CM Punk was like, I've been in the hood. We two different people. Listen, have you ever just been arguing with somebody, you look over, you like, I can't believe this shit is happening. That's what he did to Tony. He was like, what the fuck is happening here? And Tony was like, I'm just gonna sit here.
No, but Punk did what happened. Punk said exactly what happened. But Punk did lunge at Tony. He did physically lunge at Tony after the whole break
But he
thing.
launched. The thing about it with Tony, you can see Tony backing up, and he was trying to get in the business, and he puts his finger in his face, and he's like, and then it's like once you put your finger in somebody's face, it's just about a wrap. You done with the whole situation. It's like when your mama put her finger in your face, like, get to.
But
That's what he did.
that's why he told Tony he quit. That was the whole bit. But
But my thing about it is, he quit. You still had somebody interact with him. He goes out and do the show. He come out happy. He was like, I done did what I done did. I know I'm getting fired this time. And he do what he do. He leaves, comes back. He's sitting down. You sitting the person just like, oh, are you leaving? No, you should tell him he's leaving. He has to ask you, hey, would it make your job easier if I just left? Yeah, it would.
at the end of the day, whether they should or should have not released the footage, they did it. And at the end of the day, I
I
feel
was glad they did.
wrestling fans can say, "Oh, it was a nothing burger. It didn't do anything. Jack done sold I don't know how much merch during the damn week. He became a star on Friday night, and everybody's waiting for Jack to come back to AEW. So it did something for somebody.
I got a question. I bet you when we had Windy City Riot, that was the first day TK had seen Jay Perry, and I don't know when. Okay, at what point did you blame him? Did you start blaming him once he went to WWE? Was that when you were like, Jack, I'm mad at you. I don't even want to talk to you no more. Okay, I know you're reaching out, but I don't even want to talk to you no more. Is that the point you got in? Because it's like you suspended this man who's already going on vacation for something he got beat up. And how you get beat up and get in trouble?
Because at the end of the day, Tony's whole line, and at least that's the way it looked. That was the perception of it. He was always back in Punk. So that was that's why I think that he felt that he had to suspend Jack and whatever have you, and due to the altercation and all that stuff. But like I'm saying, this has benefited Jack Perry way more than it benefited AEW as a company and or CM Punk. So
I just want to ask all the Punk haters, when you go back to that pay-per-view, which match did you like the most? Was it the Crimea River line as he went into the last, or was it Punk and Samoa Joe match? Because when you go back and think about it, Punk and Samoa Joe put on a hell of a match.
yeah.
After he just had an altercation and he come out as happy as could be, like nothing had happened. We have no clue of what had happened, and he just come out like it wasn't nothing. I appreciate that. He's like, I'm still gonna do my job, but I want you to know I don't like you. Okay, I ain't never liked you. I ain't liked you once. You get, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we got the bomb news of all bomb news when uh Kenny Omega says, I talked to Punk after the altercation and brawl in. I mean, not brawl in, the brawl out fight, whatever. And that we are cool. I don't have no problem with him. He ain't got no problem with me. And then it makes you think if them two can be nice to each other and they could settle it like grown men,
Mm.
why couldn't anybody else do it in a situation?
Cooler heads sometimes don't prevail. There's certain levels of maturity that haven't been reached by certain people in certain age demographics at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting that on Jack. Yeah, I'll put that shit on Jack in that particular perspective. But there's also,
But you know what? Somebody pointed out on the NWA podcast,
Mhm.
Jack had loyalty to the Young Bucks because they brought him in.
Yes, very true.
And so after what happened,
Mhm.
one on one, he could, when, as Punk said, one on one, Jack was cordial. Jack said, oh, I won't do it. No problem. Cool. But Jack got in front of a camera and proceeded to act the fool. And that was the moment he was like, it seems like everybody is going against me. I had Hangman change his promo, for his friend.
Mhm.
We have the Young Bucks coming in to to be Billy Bad Butt for their friend,
mm,
and then now you are closely tied to these people all involved,
mm.
and now you are poking fun at me because of your friends. Like it seems like there's a common denominator. Everybody was rallying together
Mm.
because if they didn't want him there after the first brawl and he wanted to quit, they should have let him
I don't disagree with you. I just feel that at the end of the day, uh, this can be all tied to just a big miscommunication. And from my cynical side of my brain, I feel like the Young Bucks and the Elite and Jack Perry worked CM Punk into a tizzy, worked him into a shoot, and uh Punk did stuff to get himself purposely fired. That's the way that I see it. Is it true? Probably not. Who cares? But I'll continue to see it that way because that's the way that it seems to me. And at the same time, this footage, the backstage footage, is real, but the fans are being worked to at the end of the day. And that's
I think
what
I
it all
think it
boils down.
comes bad when you're like, okay, initially, I'm like, this can go two ways. You show Jack being punked out, which we did. You can see Tony actually being hurt or almost hurt,
Mhm.
and or we can see what Punk says, and this looks bad. Okay, uh, we saw what Punk said, and the fact that you all are taking people's, striking people and trying to get it taken down,
Mhm.
you know it's bad. You don't want it to be seen.
Mhm.
My thing about it is he said exactly what happened. The only thing that was different was he walked up in my face. That wasn't it. Y'all were already face to face. He was just flicking his hair in your face.
Mhm.
That'll cause anybody, like, listen, I have hair. If I just start flicking it and I'm not, and I'm just doing all that in somebody's face, where I come from, that'll cause you to get hit. Okay? So it depends on where you come from. Some people, that's not a threat. That's just, we're
Yeah.
having a conversation.
Mhm.
That to me, that comes out very dismissive and you're not listening. You're standing there striking a pose and I'm trying to have a conversation with you. And then the moment I tell you I'm gonna hurt you, that's the initial of what's gonna happen. When I shove you, that's the start of the fight. After all of that, then you try to sweep my leg and then get mad when I choke you.
At
And
the
then when
end,
he said, well, the people are like, well, he said Samoa Joe said to stop,
he did.
and he stopped. I'm like, Samoa Joe didn't scream stop as he was pulling him away from him.
Yeah, but
Yes,
you did. But I think what people miss or didn't or at least it hasn't been talked about enough, um, is Chris Hero's reaction after the whole altercation. Yo,
that was hilarious.
he was fed
He,
up. He was fed
he was
up.
like, he was like, listen, if as a boss, if you see somebody having two employees, one employee says something in a meeting, another employee says, hey, there's a problem. They walk away. When they come back and they face to face and you standing there and you're hearing everything, at what moment do you say, hey, somebody come over here and break this up? Somebody stepping in between. Everybody is almost in earshot, and I know they're not quiet whispering to each other. So
Mhm.
you hear what's going on. And it wasn't until Samoa Joe came over there to try to break it up. But it wasn't until the monitors got knocked over that everybody decided to get up from behind and move around to go help. You should have done it in the beginning. You saw a problem, you heard a problem. Even the point where CM Punk looks to you like, handle this. You didn't even get up and handle it. You didn't get nobody to handle it. There were three. I understand people saying it's a busy thing, but it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
I don't know how you allow that to happen right in front of you. Listen, there are times even today, if something is happening to somebody that I'm helping, working for, or whatever, I have to do this. But I have to say, hey, this is what's going on. I don't know why this is going on. This is this and this. That's what you do as a boss. You don't just sit there and just let it happen, and then you be like, "Oh, I'll figure it out later." Because generally, that's when people fight.
No, no. Listen,
I mean, AEW has had to do it online. I mean, I hate to say it. AEW has had to almost shut the show down because I beg to the fool on this channel. Listen, you get disrespectful, I get rude. Okay? And so he saw it and he was like, hey, I see this is going bad. Let me stop this.
sure, sure.
Hey, now cut this out.
I'm
And
not
so some people need to do that. He needs to learn how to be a boss instead of a friend.
that's what Punk said. Tony Khan's a nice guy, but he's not a boss. But at the end of the day, reality is bosses don't have to get in the middle of fights. They hire people for that. They have security for that. So at the end of the day, security didn't step in. They was watching the whole thing, and it all went down. Chris Hero had enough. He couldn't believe what he just saw, and he was like, "What is all this?" And he's just back there being a producer, and it's like it was so much. It's like I said earlier. I feel like fans and talent alike throughout this entire experience with CM Punk and AEW, people were worked on all ends of all of this. And that's what pro wrestling has been for quite some time. And for people not to think that people were worked into a shoot, I think is debatable, but that's just how I see it and whatnot. So,
And as a born Gemini, I would say when you're in a place you don't want to be
yo, just
and
leave,
you're there
man.
just to be there,
Just fucking leave.
you sometimes you be like, I got it. I think Punk initially went there thinking, I'm gonna do a little time, go back to WWE. This is gonna be fine. And then it became, oh, I like, I hear this place and this, I hear this place and that. And then you get in there and you're like, hold on, wait a minute, this ain't nothing like I thought it was gonna be. And then you trying to find an escape route. But I must admit, for as wrong as he was or what he said, he talked about that man mama. If you get blamed for something you didn't do for so long, how long are you gonna sit there and be quiet?
Sure, no,
And
no,
he had the microphone and he chose to use it. It's like when he started detailing about what he said, that he had these messages, that he offered him the money, he didn't want to take it, and all the rest of this stuff. If at this point he's like, I did what I was supposed to do. But out in the public, what are you hearing from people? And what he's insinuating is, I wasn't a good friend and I didn't try to help you. And I did. Which even up until the podcast, Punk had really talked about all this stuff. So it's like, as a friend, we gonna make a bombshell. You gonna come on my podcast, we're gonna do this. And as a friend, I do it for you. I dropped the bomb. It don't blow it up. And now you expect me to be like, you didn't want to ride with me. You didn't want to ride with my team. You didn't want to do what I wanted to do. So since you want to do what you want to do, you do it on your own. Just like me and Jay News traveling, and I'm like, I want to ride in a Kia, and Jay News like, I want to ride in a Jeep, and I'm like, well, Jeep cost too much money riding this Kia with me, and he like, nah, and then we both get to the destination, and Jay News go, you owe me half of this, and I'm looking at him like, that's your choice. They got nothing to do with me. I chose. I,
I don't make no damn sense. But I hear you. I hear you though.
we, you, we ain't gonna do this together. No, I'm not gonna do that. You gonna pay for that? No, not gonna do that. I've been in that situation where people were like, we both get in trouble, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you can pay for it. No, buddy, I gotta pay my own $800 ticket. You pay yours. Okay, that's how it is. And I think people don't understand that it was bad from the start because everybody had picked a side already because they were friends with these people already. So you've heard their side of the story. Never had heard anybody else's side of the story. Maybe if you did and you saw them text messages, them emails he had said he had, you probably would have been looking at your friend's side eye. Now, also, Punk, I'll say you in the wrong because he offered to squash things. And you like, not without my lawyer. I can understand why you said what you said, but he was trying to be nice. You could have negotiated something where you like, dude, you know you wrong. You out here saying you this and you that, and I don't appreciate that. But that could have been two-folded. You had this conversation, and it goes back, and it's not the way it came
Hmm.
because that's what happened the first time. You know, I offered you, you didn't take it. It came back that I wasn't doing nothing for you. So now you saying, okay, I'm having a conversation with you. If you say you want to squash it, and then I say let's squash it, and then you turn around and you don't squash it, and you go, well, you know, he approached me, and then it don't come back the same way. Then what? You the bad guy again? So I can understand why, but at least have a conversation, see where it go. Everybody knows a 2 minute conversation ain't gonna kill nobody.
No, but look, to the point I made earlier is that people are in different phases of their lives at this point, and how they handle situations is on them, right? And everybody had wrong in stuff. Everybody did wrong with something. Other people did, they thought what they did was best or whatever the case is. But this is the human element of everything that goes into professional wrestling and just being a human being in general. At the end of the day,
It's
so
like how he's happy and healthy, like ain't nothing happened to him. It's like he just walking around. He walking around. If you look at his Instagram, he's out having dinner with some of the women wrestlers. Out here training with some of the young men, having a great time. Like I never see him smile or laugh so hard. Like it be like he having a good time because he getting paid and he gets to do what he wants to do. But it's like at a certain point, we have to go back and look at this as you have now had two stars, two major stars come to your company who are big draws, who left, and shortly after they left, your stuff started going down like the Titanic.
what do you
Cody
mean?
left. When Cody left, their ratings started going down. CM Punk come, it goes up. CM Punk leaves, it goes down. It's like you have to understand, and I still am perplexed about this Mercedes Monet stuff because it's like her, and I'm gonna say it like NWA said it. Her moaning all on the ground last week made me so mad because I'm like, what was the purpose? If she was not ready, why bring her in? What for ratings? Are we just not doing stuff for ratings now?
I mean, it's TV at the end of the day, Dolores. That's really what it is. I look at the end of the day, my take on it is this: AEW is still number two, and AEW is a necessary evil in professional, not necessary evil. AEW is a necessity in professional wrestling. Why do I say that? Because the WWE monopoly that ran for damn near 25 years have fans believing that there's only one way to do professional wrestling, and there's
I don't think there's one way. That's why I'm disappointed is because you have a opportunity to fill a space and a place.
and they are
And
though.
now they are, but they're at a point now where it seems like we're not just focused on great wrestling. We're focused on popping the ratings. Somehow, some way we're gonna pop this rating today.
It's still TV, Dolores. It's still TV.
Makes me sad. I wish they wouldn't bring these politics into this kind of thing. Listen,
It's still
I
TV.
love with Osprey. I love and it's just like now you see people who did not choose AEW explaining or leaving AEW explaining why they have done this is because they felt like I cannot waste my good years here, as Jay said. Like I'm Jay said, like I'm of a woman of a certain age. I'm just stuck doing the same thing. I need to grow. I need to get to where I need to be. And I feel like I'm wasting my good years here. And I was like, that hurt me.
I understand where she's coming from, right? And I'm not trying to invalidate her feelings, but perception's perception. She's doing the exact same thing now that she was doing in AEW. Ain't nothing changed but the letters on your company
I
and how much
think
you get
what the
paid.
only I think the only difference is now is I think they're gonna use her like a star and put her in spaces and places AEW wasn't gonna do. Like they're gonna put her in front of movie execs
Oh,
and
that's
do all these
fine.
things.
Now that's neither here nor there. On the simple point that WWE's been around for 50 plus years longer than AEW. They're a known commodity and brand. At the end of the day, AEW's a
AEW can put people in spaces and places. They
you're not,
have connects.
you're not wrong, but at the end of the day, the brand with the longevity is going to get the credibility in front of other high level execs elsewhere, right? Now, the whole tribalism thing, WWE, AEW, wasting my years, not wasting my years. AEW did everything in their power to make that girl a star, and she was a star for AEW at the end of the day. Now you want more recognition, you want more popularity. Obviously, you go to the brand that has the
Yeah,
world, that has the global renown and whatnot. I'm not trying to bite her for that, but she's being pushed and she's being seen the same way that AEW already projected her. There's no difference in it to me.
I think the only difference is she's on the top level. Now, from what I'm seeing her, you gotta admit, I initially thought I was a little scared that she was gonna be an NXT girl. That she
No,
was
no,
gonna be,
no, no, no. No.
but
I didn't think that at all, to be honest.
when she showed up at NXT, I had that pit of my stomach fear. I was like, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Because for me, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little pissed off that Julia is at NXT. I want her to go straight to the main roster and fight. I don't want her because she has the skills and character. I can understand they want to develop her more
Mhm.
character wise or whatever. But also, I think AEW is more of a like we are we place people in positions
Mhm.
to make them stars. They have to make it themselves. They have to do it themselves. Whereas WWE is like, oh, we're gonna build you from ground up, and they try to make you. Whereas Julia, what I mean like as far as foreign stars,
Yeah, sure, sure.
because
Yeah.
when you come to WWE, they
Yeah.
have you a place to
Mhm.
stay,
Yeah.
where to go, who to be. That's how they do you.
Mhm.
With AEW, you have to if you're a foreign star, you have to find your way here,
Mhm.
find your way to do stuff. That you have to find yourself
Yeah.
in America,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
that's not something WWE. They're like, oh no, you're gonna live here. We're gonna. This is how you travel. This is where we book your stuff. We do this. We do that. That's
we
how they are.
we've spoken about that before. That's absolutely true. I think I from what I've read, right? I don't know anybody in the industry like that. AEW is trying to improve that necessarily for them when it comes to
Yeah,
working with
yeah. I
foreign,
heard they've implemented some new people to help with
yeah, to help with
booking
that,
and
with
travel.
transitions and stuff like that. Yeah. So hopefully it works in the long run. Um, it's just at the end of the day, it's if you're a fan of professional wrestling, be a fan of pro wrestling. If you're a fan of a specific brand, then be a fan of a specific brand. But you're never gonna find me saying that AEW is better than WWE or WWE is better than AEW. It's pro
Oh
wrestling
no,
at the end of the day.
I think AEW has that niche of great wrestling where sometimes WWE has that great storytelling, and they might have a good match here and there. You
They
know what
have
I'm
great
saying?
storytelling and production value, and I think that AEW's
Yeah,
improved production value over the years. They have great in ring matches. AEW does at the end of the day, and they're still working on the whole character projection thing with a lot of their wrestlers. Some of their wrestlers have it,
yeah.
others don't. A lot of them don't.
A
But
lot of them are gaining it.
yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of them are working on it and they're gaining it and stuff like that, and that's cool to see. You don't out you can't you can't walk out of the womb polished at the end of the day. That's just
I
not
know.
how it works.
I
So
think they just need a better like stepping system to
oh no,
wherever.
they don't necessarily have one. So yeah,
Yeah, so that I think once they gain it, because honestly, if people forget, the Nightmare Factory was their stepping system. It was like they stepped from there to what was it? What was the show they had that they end up canceling?
an elevation.
Yeah, at A Dart, and then they stepped up to like maybe getting jobbed out a couple of times, and then you would see them more often. Because I remember Julia's cheerleading gimmick when I first saw it on Dark. I was like, this is bad. But now I think because I'm not into bubbly people. Happy, like
Mm.
you too happy, I can't deal with that. That's just too much for me.
Hey,
But
listen.
I've grown to like her, and then when she changed, I was like, that's great. Listen, that I ain't never met somebody that's happy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, man,
Ned Flanders,
I love me some Willow Nightingale. What you talking about, Delores? What you talking about?
you must not realize I do not like her. I do not like her. I do not. It's something about the fact that she gets beat up and then she gets up and she's like,
Get out of here.
and I'm like,
Love Willow. Get out of here.
stop it, stop it. I want you to
Love.
listen, ladies and gentlemen. I will get on here. I will get on here and almost shed a tear if Willow is the person that attacked Mercedes Monet. I will cry because I'll be like, Dustin healed her. I've been waiting all my life for her. Okay, I'm a heel, and I love heels. Okay,
Um,
listen,
no, but that's
ladies, and
to before we head on because I gotta get out of here by at least
yeah,
11:15. The Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Stokely Hathaway storyline has me genuinely confused. I don't know who's turning on who. So they've done a terrific job with me in not understanding where this is gonna go, and I think AEW's done a terrific job with that particular storyline, in my estimation.
it has to be Willow because she hasn't been anything but happy from the moment she's got here. And then when Mercedes Monet was mentioning that, she's like, well, and she started to say, well, she hurt me, so huh. And then she gets beat up shortly afterwards. All you hear is grunting and moaning and stuff in the background. I'm like, it has to be Willow.
I
It
don't know.
has to be Willow.
I don't
Unless
know.
Mercedes is just faking it dependent on her. But I need her to turn heel.
I don't
I
know.
think Willow heel would be great
I don't
because,
know.
like,
I don't know that. I love Willow as her bubbly self. But Chris Statlander's been wearing a lot of black lately. She's been semi-serious here and there and whatnot. You know, I'm not too sure how she's taken this blasphemous betrayal from Trent. I don't know if she thinks she's making it seem like it's a bad thing, but I don't necessarily know if it's really a good thing because she's going that way too. I don't know. This is why I think it's going
she
so well.
was a happy sign language alien. Okay? I don't know why you. I don't know why you do that. But she came up here. I was like, go for it, girl. But listen, some characters need to make sense, and a sign language alien is not one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the previews. The reason why me and Jay News can talk so long is because I know this is gonna be short. Uh, let's start with the previews. Jay News said he got
Yep.
Wrestling Dontaku.
Road
Let
2.
me go to the. Hold on, I am in the wrong thing. Here we go.
We got April 20th.
So the first.
The first Road 2 shows on the 20th, which is when's the 20th? On Saturday?
It is. Let me look at my calendar. Yes, Saturday.
Yeah. So April 20th, 2024, live from Machida Gymnasium in Tokyo, Japan. The first match is a 6-man tag match. It's going to be Katsuya Murashima, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto versus Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta of the Bullet Club. The second match is going to be El Desperado, Tomoaki Hanma, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, and Jeff Cobb of the United Empire. We've then got the Gorillas of Destiny's Jado, El Phantasmo, Hikuleo, along with Ryusuke Taguchi, and an 8-man tag versus Koji Fujita, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, and Zack Sabre Jr. of TMDK. We then have a tag match, just 5 guys, Doki and Sonata versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Show of House of Torture. We then have the new never open weight 6-man tag team champions along with Shota Umino. That's Bolton Oleg, Toru Yano, and Hiroshi Tanahashi with Shota Umino in an 8-man tag versus Dick Togo, Yujiro Takahashi, Ren Narita, and Evil of House of Torture. We then have a tag match of Yui Uemura and Tai Chi of Just 5 Guys versus TJP and the Great Okan of the United Empire. We then have Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Yota Tsuji, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito versus Gato, Drilla Maloney, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, and David Finley, My Dogs for Real from the Bullet Club. That is on the 20th. We then have the Road 2 from Dontaku Show on the 21st. Match lineup there. Currently, six-man tag, Shomakato, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto going up against Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta of the Bullet Club. We then have Tomoaki Hanma and Tomohiro Ishii in a tag match versus Callum Newman and Jeff Cobb of the United Empire. Taka Michinoku and Doki of Just Five Guys versus Sho and Yujiro Takahashi of House of Torture. We then have Jado, El Desperado, El Fantasmo, and Hikuleo versus Kojei Fujita, Shane Hayes, Mikey Nichols, and Zack Sabre Jr. of TMDK. Bolton Ole, Shota Umino Toriano, and Hiroshi Tanahashi team up again to go up against members of House of Tortures, Dick Togo, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Ren Narita, and Evil. We then have a six-man tag of Yui Uemura, Taichi, and Sonata of Just Five Guys versus Francesco Akira, TJP, and the Great Okan of the United Empire. And then we have another Los Ingobernables de Japón match versus the Bullet Club members. We have Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Yuta Tsuji, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito on LIJ side. Gato, Drilla Maloney, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, and David Finlay on the Bullet Club side. We then have the matches from the 22nd, which is next Monday. This will be the last show that we preview here for the time being. We have on the 22nd, which is live from Kurikan Hall, six-man tag, Katsuya Murashima, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto against Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta. Jado, Taguchi, Phantasmo, Hikuleo versus Fujita, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, and Zack Sabre Jr. of TMDK. Bolton Ole, Shota Umino Toriano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi going up against Dick Togo, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Yujiro Takahashi, Ren Narita, and Evil of House of Torture. We have Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Yota Tsuji, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito versus Bullet Club members Gato, Drilla Maloney, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, and David Finlay. And then the main event of this night, we have Taka Michinoku, Doki, Yui Uemura, Taichi, and Sonata of Just Five Guys going up against Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, TJP, Great Okan, and Jeff Cobb of the United Empire. Those are the matches from the Road to Dontaku from the 22nd.
Ladies and gentlemen, they have one before we come back on the 23rd, the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th. So that is the end of the New Japan Wrestling Dontaku 2024. Now we're on to the next. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the BS of the BS. Ha ha! It is GCW How High. Okay? It plays on 420. Blaze it up, ladies and gentlemen. 420. And it starts out with Grim Reaper, Mr. Danger and Ruckus versus Blake Christian, Kerry Morton, and Shane Mercier. The Stoner Brothers of Rick Scott Stoner and Scott Rick Stoner versus Bussy, Alley Catch, and Effie. Dark Sheik versus Mance Warner. The Wolf Daddies, Bad Dude Tito and Cabero versus Zilla Fatu. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say, I think it might be Juicy for now because that's who joined him in the cage match for the Punjabi prison match. So maybe. We have Too Cold Scorpio versus Joey Janela. Ladies and gentlemen, after you wake up from y'all, you're going to wake up to GCW breaking. Okay? It's on 421. Still got that haze and that smoke. Dark Sheik versus Billy Starks. Joey Janela versus Fuego del Sol. And Nick Gage versus Broski Jimmy. Ladies and gentlemen, before we come back, we have one more show. It is JCW, the Strong Silent Type. Okay? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in the picture, the R is you can see the R, okay? Because this is YouTube, I had to kind of disguise what the R is, okay? But if you know, you know. You have Alex Price versus Marcus Mathers, Jordan Oliver versus Griffin McCoy, and Joey Janela versus Casey Catal. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of this. Yeah, I listen, when I saw that graphic, and I was like, I got to make it close to the graphic just in case we have a, a watch along on the channel. I was like, I cannot put this Moscow tool as the R and make it very noticeable. So I had to kind of breathe T and the O as close as possible. So it rests on the O so nobody could. And then when I saw the puff thing, I had to hide it where it just looked like it's just smoking in the distance. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to try to do a lot so the channel don't get straight. And I know today I cussed at least 3 times. You know, sometimes you got
Oh man, Dolores,
to.
would you like me to go through the rest of the Wrestling Dontaku shows, the Road 2 shows, because
Oh, they
they have
just came up.
they came up, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
let me go back. Let me go back
yeah.
to the slide. See, that's what they always wait till we start, then they want to do stuff.
So we're on the 23rd.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hold on. Hold on. I got different banners for different things.
Mhm.
There we go.
The 23rd. So on the 23rd, they'll be live at Kurikan Hall. We have a 6-man tag to start off the event. It's going to be Shomakato versus Shomakato, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto against Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta of the Bullet Club. 8-man tag, Taguchi, Desperado, Phantasmo, Hikuleo versus Fujita, Haste, Nichols, and Zack Sabre Jr. of TMDK. We then have a never open weight 6-man tag team title match. It's going to be Bolton Ole, Toriano, and Hiroshi Tanahashi, who are currently the champions, against Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Yujiro Takahashi, and Evil of House of Torture. Then we have some special singles matches. We'll have Yota Tsuji versus Gato. We'll have Bushi versus Gabe Kidd. We'll then have Shingo Takagi versus Clark Connors. Tetsuya Naito versus Drilla Maloney. And then Hiromu Takahashi versus David Finlay. All one-on-one matches of LIJ versus the Bullet Club. So that is on the 23rd. We then go on to the 25th. The 25th, which will be live from the Fukui Prefecture Industrial Hall. This will be entering a 6-man match here. It'll be Bolton Oleg, Toriano, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Katsuya Murashima, Shomakato, and Tomoaki Hanma. We then have Tiger Mask, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto going up against Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta of the Bullet Club. El Desperado, Shota Umino, and Hiroshi Tanahashi will go up against Dick Togo, Ren Narita, and Evil of House of Torture. Taka Michinoku, Doki, and Sonata of Just Five Guys going up against Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi of House of Torture. Jado, Taguchi, El Phantasmo, and Hikuleo going up against Kosei Fujita, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, and Zack Sabre Jr. of TMDK. We'll then have a tag match of Yuri Uemura and Tai Chi of Just Five Guys going up against Callum Newman and Great Khan of the United Empire. And then we have another big spread out tag team match. It'll be Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Yota Tsuji, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito versus the Bullet Club's members Gato, Drilla Maloney, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, and David Finlay. That's on the 25th. We then have on the 26th, which will be live from Osaka Prefectural Gymnasium, the Edion Arena. Bolton Oleg, Toriano, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Katsuya Murashima, Shomakato, and Tomoaki Hanma. Tiger Mask, Yoshihashi, Hiroki Goto versus Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta. Desperado, Shota Umino, and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Dick Togo, Ren Narita, and Evil. Takumi Shinoku, Doki, and Tai Chi of Just Five Guys going up against Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi. Jado, Taguchi, El Phantasmo, and Hikuleo versus Kosei Fujita, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, and Zack Sabre Jr. of TMDK. Yuri Uemura, Sonata of Just Five Guys going up against Callum Newman and Great Khan. And then the main event yet again, it'll be LIJ versus the Bullet Club, Bushi, Takahashi, Tsuji, Takagi, Naito of LIJ versus Gato, Maloney, Connors, Gabe Kidd, and Finlay of the Bullet Club. And then to round out the event on April 27th, live from Hiroshima, Sun Plaza Hall, we'll have a tag match to start off the event. It'll be Bolton Oleg and Toriano versus Rey Paloma and Hanzo. Then we have a 6-man tag, Tiger Mask, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto versus Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta of the Bullet Club. Kosei Fujita and Zack Sabre Jr. of TMDK will go up against Francesco Akira and Jeff Cobb. Another 6-man tag, El Desperado, Shota Umino, and Tomohiro Ishii will go up against Yujiro Takahashi, Ren Narita, and Evil of House of Torture. Tomoaki Hanma, Hiroshi Tanahashi in a tag match versus Tai Chi and Sonata of Just Five Guys. Taka Michinoku and Doki of Just Five Guys going up against Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Sho Apostle Torture. We then have the Strong Openweight Tag Team title match versus that'll consist of El Phantasmo and Hikuleo going up against the champions Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. We then have the King of Pro Wrestling Provisional Championship match, which will have the Great Okan going one-on-one against Yuya Uemura. And then we have the elimination match this time around of LIJ members Bushi, Takahashi, Yoda, Tsuji, Takagi, and Naito against the Bullet Club, Gato, Maloney, Connors, Kidd, and Finley. So that rounds out the Road to Wrestling Dontaku show on the 27th. And then we will have other wrestling Road to Wrestling Dontaku shows on the 30th and May 1st, and then Wrestling Dontaku will take place on May 3rd and May 4th, live from Fukuoka. So we have all that.
So from the dates from the 20th to the 27th, when we come back, we'll review, and then future dates we'll review after that.
After that,
Because then I'll have predictions set up by then. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the good things of the good things. I'm going to solo out J News because that's what you came for. You came for J News. You didn't come for me, okay? I wish it did. Yeah, New Japan love them road two shows that I don't love them either, okay? Because now they all look like they running into each other. I'm beginning to think SP3 and J News was right. I ain't got to watch them things.
No,
But
the majority you don't, unless they have like special singles matches or like title matches on the Road 2 shows. There's not really much to watch. But I'm getting the solo run for the spotlight. Yeah.
yes.
All right.
J News is about to spotlight his spotlight of the week.
Yeah, spotlight of the week is none other than the lovely, the effervescent, the one and only Mina Shirakawa of Stardom. Fantastic picture that Delores has blessed us with here. Mina Shirakawa has been wrestling for several years now. She is one of the up-and-coming stars of the All Joshi promotion Stardom in Japan. She is one of the original members of Club Venus, her, Mariah May, and Zaya Brookside. Mina Shirakawa is currently now starting a feud with the illustrious one that is Toni Storm over the affections of Mariah May. I feel that Mina Shirakawa will go one-on-one with Toni Storm eventually at Forbidden Door for the affections of Mariah May, and that will turn into some sort of another storyline down the road. But it has definitely given us a sense of who the character of Mina Shirakawa is. But as a professional wrestler, Mina Shirakawa is no slouch. She is currently I think it's not a tag team champion with two people, but like a multi-person tag in Stardom as well. She doesn't come from the dojo background, if I'm not mistaken. She has a different background. Let me pull this up, all this information that I saw earlier. She, first of all, Mina Shirakawa is 3 years away from 40. So she's 37 years old. She'll be 37 in December. She started her professional wrestling career back in 2018. So she's only been wrestling for 6 years. And she has been wrestling in Stardom since 2020. So first a part of the Cosmic Angels in 2020, and Club Venus up until Mariah May left in that particular iteration when Mariah May left back in 2023. So that is the spotlight on Mina Shirakawa. Folks should definitely keep an eye out for Mina. She is a hell of an entertainer, but she's also one hell of a wrestler, even though she has been wrestling for a long period of time. And she is definitely a star to look forward to. She what can I say about her, man? She's not that she's bubbly, but like she has, I don't know, man. I don't know how to put it, but
She is
sassy.
fun and funny, but she's a killer.
Yeah, she's very sassy. And then exactly to Dolores's point, she knows when to put it down. So
Yeah.
uh, folks really need to look out for Mina Shirakawa in that particular sense. She's not all pretty face and boobs. So
She is what I want Willow to be. Okay.
so look out for Mina in that particular regard. And not next week, but the week after, Delores will finally be back with her own
I
spotlight.
know. I have mine. I have mine today.
Oh, she got okay.
Since, yeah, since we ain't gonna be here next week, I was like, let me just go ahead and do it so I don't confuse everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, to me, I hate giving myself a solo. Solo out. Okay. I'm gonna give my spotlight to someone who has left the Indies. Jesus, why, Lord, why? But I am proud of him, and I cannot wait to see what he does. Tama Tonga is my spotlight of the week for next week since we're not gonna be here. Tama Tonga used to be with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not gonna talk about the other places he's been because I was disappointed in her. Okay, but I've been shooting in the gym with him since them TNA Impact days. Bad, bad, bad day. Uh, but listen, I try to erase those from my memory because I like the way this look. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tamatanga, is now with the E because he's moving on up to the East side.
Mm-hmm.
He is now with WWE, doing the Wild Samoan thing with
He is a
Solo
member.
Sokola.
He is a member of the bloodline. He's a member of the
But
bloodline.
him and Solo are supposed to be like the Wild Sports, okay? I got that immediately. I was like, hold on, why they? One got blonde hair, one got black hair, one is the son of the yeah. I already get it. But I am proud. He's done good work. Lost some hair in New Japan
Yeah,
Pro Wrestling,
that's right.
but overall, cannot wait to see what he has for WWE. And this is why we do a show like this. So for people who watch WWE or AEW, who hear about Mariah May or Mina Shawakawa,
Mhm.
pronounce that wrong, and Tamatonga, that you get to know these people and then you see their rise into the mainstream world. Okay, let me go back in my coma. Oh Lord, no. Uh, Jay News, it's time for
Mhm.
you to come back out the corner because it's time for Jay News to tell you about his show. And let me say something. You better go over there, okay? You better check him out on Twitter. You better do all that stuff. Don't make me have to, okay? Because I got time today, okay? I got time, okay?
Always appreciate
Jay
it.
News,
You
you can tell us
folks, you
about your.
kind folks can always check me out on the Twitter machine at John LYFNMG. That's your friendly neighborhood moviegoer, where I talk most things movies. Uh, when I have time nowadays to go to the movie theater, it has been a rough go with my schedule, but I do my write ups and I do my reviews on Letterboxd. You can catch me at the same thing, John LYFNMG. Look me up under the members tab over on Letterboxd. You can read my reviews there. Usually, I also post the links to my reviews on my Twitter feed and also on my Instagram feed, so you guys can check me out on there as well. The podcast is still up and going across all podcast platforms. I haven't recorded one since December. My plan is hopefully to continue to do the podcast within the next coming months, but I have continued my creative efforts through writing. So check out my written reviews on Letterboxd, like I said before. So yeah, man. Last review that I have up currently is on Monkey Man. Check that out on Letterboxd, and I will have more reviews coming this week, as I will probably be watching two films that I have interest in. That being Civil War and La Quimera. So yeah, that's it for me on my self plug. You muted, Dolores. Muted.
Just find the mute button. Find the mute button in 2020. Oh, Lord. I just want to say, I appreciate J News again. I want to publicly apologize because I was going to send him 2 clips from last 2 shows, and my body has told me not to do it. But as soon as I get it up, I will be sending you out of clips. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We're going to go over something real quick. First of all, I don't know what is exactly going on this week. I can only tell you about the stuff I know about. Okay. I know you're here for seeing stars. I know there's scheduled to be a cookout tomorrow. Don't ask me about what I don't know. Okay. I don't know when off or not aftermath of Dynamite under the radar when they shorts come out. Okay. I don't know. I know Friday Night Fights is coming on. You know why? Because I scheduled it. Ladies and gentlemen, not Friday Night Fights. Sorry. Wrong one. Friday Night Fights this time will be just SmackDown because that's the only thing coming on Friday. It is Saturday at 8 p.m. that we will have TNA Rebellion, AEW Collision, and AEW Rampage watch along, ladies and gentlemen. And then on Sunday, you have Into the Square Circle. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if it's not a show that I've scheduled, I don't know what happens. So it might be a different graphic, might be different words. I don't know. Okay? I'm only here so I don't get signed. And then on Sunday, we have the big AEW Dynasty watch along. Okay? Want to say again, congratulations to the good brother J News up here kicking folks back in. Make sure you hit the horse, and I'm gonna do it like this. Hit that horse right now.
Scan the horse for this course.
Scan the horse so you can get to this. You need to scan the horse to get to Discord because you ain't got it there either. Okay. Discord. Ladies and gentlemen, podcast. I know there are like 3 of these that are not doing it anymore. So we have to figure out. Still writing it down. You have to give me grace. I'm moving a little slow. The podcast is out. I know last 2 weeks you all did not catch it. Uploaded it about a day ago. Okay, sorry about that delay. We're on all social medias, ladies and gentlemen. You hit these social medias. If you got a problem and you need something done, I got it. Okay, because it all comes to my phone. Now, if you got blocked, too bad. I can't help you with that because if you got blocked for a reason. There has to be a community conversation. And getting 5 people on one line is a problem. But you're watching along. Make sure you go and check those out, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, thank you. Look at that horsey again. Thank you for coming. As me and J News won't be here. Listen, don't be clicking. Don't be calling me. Don't be messaging me on social media. Delores, where you at? Listen, I got to because I don't know what be going on half the time. You miss a day, you miss a lot. I looked up the other day. I was like, where's Into the Square Circle? Oh, they got a different graphic. I don't know. Dude, that's what I get when I don't come into work. Ladies and gentlemen, for me and J News, we're going to cut the lights out. Because you won't see us until the 29th, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, mark it. Do like I do. Mark it on your calendar right here. You can't see it, but mark it on your calendar. The 29th, J News and Delores will be back. You can catch J News on True Hill Heat, possibly before then or after then. Yeah,
probably not. I don't know.
I know I won't see you. No, I won't see you on Monday on there. That's for sure. So, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait a minute.
It's gonna go through withdrawal.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna sit here and apologize for something. You know what I'm saying? That is no fault of my own. I still answer to the man. You know what I'm saying? So
Listen, J News has some things to do on next Monday, so I wasn't gonna do it by myself. As you see, I'm struggling to say regular names I say on a regular basis. The girl out here tweaking. She's just tweaking. My body is telling me after was it the collective? The collective we set my us down. And I'm like, okay, my voice is leaving. Everything is gone. I've got listen, I got to go. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, when Jay News messaged me, ladies and gentlemen, I ain't gonna lie, he said, I'm busy. I ain't gonna be there next week. I was like, we ain't gonna have no show, okay? I ain't gonna thug this out. Not again. No. No. J News ain't here. I ain't here. That's the rule. We a tag team together.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you then. We covered up until we come back. When we come back, we're going to review everything and preview. We should be back on track. Even if we miss anything, we always try to make sure we let you know what's going on till we get back. Okay? So until then, we want to say, why? Why accidentally hit the wrong thing? Peace.